All right, guys, in this video, we're going to look at a number of pitchers succeeding in the major leagues with mid 80s fastballs. And this is so important because it seems like I'm the only coach, the only pitching channel that is helping the 99%. Most of us are never going to throw 95 to 105 miles an hour. And so we have to figure out how to get to high school, college, Division One, pros, major leagues without it, and it has been done throughout all of history, including in the current era. So why wouldn't we want to figure that out so we can help guys all over the world do that without just playing the same velo game that everybody else is doing? So we're going to go through some of these pitchers. First guy here, R.A. Dickey, had the knuckleball in his arsenal, and that's what separated him so he could throw his fastball low mid 80s and still succeed. So we'll check out some of the pictures right here.
The just incredible experiences he went through to get to the
82 and first pitch. He knows he has a knuckleball, so he's probably looking for that. Gets a strike right there.
I guess it takes an inning to find that knuckleball, find yourself out on that mound, get through it, and hopefully smooth set.
Right there by you.
Sailing the rest of the way. Right.
So here's an example of a pitcher throwing. I don't even think this guy has a knuckleball. A lot of times I'll show a guy older in their career throwing mid 80s, and people are like, oh, well, he used to throw harder. And that might be the case, but the point is that he figured out how to get outs even when his velo dropped. And so for, again, 99% of us, we're never going to be throwing super hard, so we need to figure that out now. So if it can be done and we can study pitchers that are doing it, let's learn from them.
Strike one.
Zach Greinke is an example. Used to throw super hard, but now he just adapted and he's succeeding. That's 87 right down the middle by you.
And now it's 0-2. Yes, this inning is probably a record, I would think.
Bartolo, one of the all-time great pitchers, an example of a guy succeeding not throwing hard. I played with Mike Leake, actually, growing up. Great guy, great pitcher. Leake's a guy, because people be like, oh, well, you're never going to go to college if you're not throwing 95. Mike Leake went to Arizona State and then didn't even pitch an inning in the minor leagues, went straight to the big leagues with the Reds, throwing high 80s, touching low 90s, nothing special, but he could pitch. And then some people be like, oh, well, the game has changed. The game has changed. Now you have to do it. Well, think about this. Kershaw is still pitching and succeed. This year he's 4-0 at the time of this recording in 2025. 4-0, dominating. He barely scrapes 90. His fastballs are mainly upper 80s. So how is he still able to succeed if the game is just, oh, it's so much better, everyone's throwing harder? Everyone's just trying to go max effort. The injuries are out of control. MLB's been talking about this. They've been saying they might even have to do rule changes. It's a huge issue. So it's not that players have gotten better. It's just that's what the era in baseball that we're in is, everyone's max effort. But if it was true that guys were so much better, then how is Kershaw dominating with 88? It's because he's pitching, and that's what we teach. Pitch in a healthy way. Add the knuckleball if you can, but learn how to locate, good mechanics, make your pitches move, change speeds, and become a pitcher, and don't just chase velocity.
First fun, and for Mike Leake, that is home run number 41 allowed on the season.
And I don't like to show just pitches, perfectly located, because if you have a good arsenal, 86, 87. It can do it. It doesn't have to be perfect if your arsenal is good and you know how to pitch.
Pretty much straight away.
Guys, knowing how to pitch is probably the biggest unlock in baseball. Rich Hill, a good example of it. He, was struggling at his indie ball. Then they found out, okay, throw your curveball more. It was just an unlock of his off speed, and they helped him get bigger. This one I think says changeup down there because his fastball's so slow that sometimes it registers. But you can go on Baseball Savant and you can do searches for all the different pitches, and that's how you'll find this stuff. And I can make another video on how to use Baseball Savant. If you guys want, let me know. And you can find out the speed of every pitch, the movement, spin rate, all that stuff.
Sweeney gets punched from him.
Stephen Wright, great example of a guy had the knuckleball in his arsenal so he could throw 83, 84, 85 and succeed. The knuckleball is just such a cheat code, and you know, people be like, oh well, the knuckleball, there's not going to be that many, you know, top knuckleballers. Guys, people don't learn the knuckleball. They'll say people don't learn the knuckleball until your career's over. Well, think about this logic, okay? Your career's over. You've blown out your arm. You're 35 years old. Now let's turn to the knuckleball. If it's so powerful that it can take a guy in their 30s that doesn't have enough velocity and then make them a top major leaguer, then if you threw it when you were younger with a healthy arm, wouldn't you just be that much better? And you look at like very few guys that did that, like Phil Niekro, oh, Hall of Famer. And he didn't have a great arm, Hall of Famer. And his nickname was Knucksy because he mastered it because he started throwing it when he was a kid. So the logic is backwards. We're saying, oh, it's only something you throw when your career's over. If it's so powerful that it could help a 35-year-old, that it could help anybody. And that's what we're seeing now with, you know, guys coming up, throwing harder with the knuckleball, and they're going to be top guys. And also in knuckleball years, you subtract 6 to 10 years from your age because you can pitch much longer. So for a lot of guys, they should absolutely try the knuckleball. Maybe they won't be as good as Phil Niekro or Tim Wakefield with it, but they can add it in. It'll make their fastball appear that much better.
Yeah, Michael, it is really amazing.
Again, Stephen Wright.
2-1, big swing.
2-1, hitters count, 80-something, right down the middle. Look at that. Strike three.
Fastball. They get Segura 2 outs.
Jumped into our booth.
This guy's one of my favorite guys. He's a guy that knows how to pitch. I like those guys. And we might be the only academy that likes those guys. I feel like, in my opinion, and you guys let me know, if you talk to anybody else, the only thing they talk about is your stuff. Oh, what's your spin rate? What's your velocity? What's this? Guys, of course that stuff matters, but now the research is showing that's blowing out everybody's arm, and that's what the MLB, study has shown. And so maybe I'm on the vanguard and other guys are going to copy me, but you're going to see, I guarantee you're going to see the new money ball is going to be, oh, you know what? If instead of throwing max effort every pitch at 97, let's throw at 93 and hit our spots, and then we're going to be able to not get injured, and then we're going to have good pitchers that have, healthier arms. That's going to be better for our team. And then it's going to be the new trend. Oh, obviously, we don't want to throw as hard as we can. That's obvious. Well, I'm telling you first, and I guarantee you this is going to happen.
And the hitters never stepped out of the batter's box. He cited Mickey Mantle in that regard. He said they may take a pitch, and if they waited for the pitcher to get
enough innings.
Here he is. Here's the man, the myth, the legend, Bartolo. Perfect example of a guy,
2 balls, 2 strikes,
86 right down the middle, Bayou. Obviously used to throw 95 to 100, and then he just adapted.
6-5 with a 4.44.
Here's the man again, R.A. Dickey.
Start for the Braves.
Right in there.
Here's the 8th member of the Diamondbacks to bat in the first inning. It is
Jared Weaver.
Will take strike
used
one.
to throw, upper 80s to low, maybe touching 94. He never threw absolute gas. Kyle Hendricks, one of my favorite guys. Always very average arm, and it's just gone. Obviously, his velo's dropped a little bit as he got older, but still able to be effective.
1 strike earlier this.
Hey, that's what I do as a reporter. I get down to the bottom of things.
Right on.
So, guys, this is the message. People will see these. I'll put this on, TikTok, and I'll get 100, 500 comments of people. oh, actually throwing 98's better. Well, obviously, that's like the same logic as saying, you know what, it's an advantage to be 7 foot in the NBA. Of course that's an advantage. Of course throwing 100 is an advantage. But the point is, if I'm trying to help the 99% of guys that are 5'11 that are trying to play basketball, then wouldn't I show them guys that are also similar, that are succeeding, and how to play that game? In the same way, most of you guys are throwing in, the 80s at best, and so how do we get you the best chance to play at a high level? And there's all these gimmicks with trying to throw harder, and it's really just going to end up blowing out your arm. Your accuracy, your control is going to go out the window. It's not going to make you better. So let's look at guys that have normal arms, that are getting outs, and let's learn something from them. If you ask any major leaguer, they're going to tell you the same thing. I have quote after quote on my Instagram of big leaguers talking about this. Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, John Smoltz, tons of guys talking about its location, its change of speed, its pitchability. And of course, there's some guys that just throw the ball as hard as they can. They're blessed with a 100-mile-an-hour arm. And that's great for them. That's like Shaq would tell you something different than Allen Iverson about how to play basketball, wouldn't he? So look at a guy that you're like. If you're the average person, you're 5'11", you're throwing average speed, then don't just spend all day dreaming about being a Aroldis Chapman, trying to be him. Look at a guy like Kyle Hendricks and be like, okay, I can do it like that. I'm going to make it. I'm going to dream big and pitch the way that God made me to pitch and not try to be somebody else. And let's figure it out. Maybe it's a knuckleball. Maybe it's perfecting your changeup, your deception on it, your location, your sequencing, maybe getting seam shifted movement on your sinker, on your changeup, whatever it is. But let's get you guys to the highest level possible with a healthy arm, so then we love the game and we're able to keep playing as long as we can. And then when we're done, we're able to play catch with our kids. If this was helpful for you guys, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.